Looking by your career, what would you say are the biggest achievements within your career that you are most proud of?
After a fellowship in the United States in 1995, 96, where I spent 2 years in Houston, Texas at Baylor College of Medicine, I made a decision going back to Europe, and then I started there to become the associate editor of the Journal of Cataract and Refractive Surgery. Further achievements, of course, are becoming in 2012 professor and chairman at the University of Frankfurt. All the publications we did, I have published now more than 550 articles.
Wow.
And of course, achievements are, if you have achievements, you have big grant support. In the field of cataract and refractive surgery, that's not easy. If you get let's say a DFG grant, German Foundation, Research Foundation, which sponsored my trip to the United States, that's something, because you have to, really have to qualify for this. Now, for the young generation, I would say, go for this. There are so many opportunities in our field in ophthalmology, and even in the cataract and refractive area, where you can help patients, you can make a career, you can have great achievements.
Wonderful. Speaking of your role as a treasurer, it's a very key role. It's a very significant role. People sometimes don't realize why it's so important. But would be interested to understand what's been the most challenging but also rewarding aspects of managing the society's finance.
The first 2-3 years were quite okay, because ESCRS is doing very well. At this time we had a very full house, full budget. But then came December 2019 and we had COVID. And COVID was also for every society in the world a big crisis, because these beautiful congresses which we're doing here, but we're doing on the ESCRS level with the winter meeting, the summer meeting, particularly our main meeting in summer, these are the income bringers to the societies, and we couldn't hold them. So in 2020 we had nothing. We had to do virtual, and then we're going back to, so the whole crisis also diminished our income, diminished our reserves. And to manage this was really difficult. That was a challenging time,
Absolutely.
But we did very well.
Very rewarding as well.
And I have to say, we did it with the council,
Right.
we did it with the executives, with the trustees of the ESCRS. This group is working very well together, and I think it's beautiful, turned out to be very successful.
Absolutely, and thanks again for your support on this. As your role within publications, that's a very significant responsibility. Could you discuss a specific publication project under your leadership that you believe it had a significant impact in the entire field of ophthalmology?
Let me go back to the ESCRS. The ESCRS supports a lot of research, and we try to generate out of these publications. So let me take 2 examples. Endophthalmitis study by Peter Berry, former president of ESCRS, has a huge impact. I just talked to my colleagues in the United States, and they said this was a landmark article because it showed that intracameral antibiotics can replace potentially all antibiotics later. It was published in the Journal of Cataract and Refractive Surgery, although ophthalmology want to have it, but we had it here. The next one was the pre-med study, which shows you the post-operative management of cataract surgery. Which kind of drops do you take? Steroids, non-steroidals, and that was a pre-med study. Also, 2 articles were published in JCRS, highly cited worldwide. So, we can be proud of this journal. And it changed the way we do in ophthalmology in the field of cataract and refractive surgery.
It's fascinating, and it has indeed. You are the treasurer, you said for 8 years, you're the head of publications, you run a very big team, but also something that people might not know about it. You're a very successful family person. You don't have 1, 2, but 6 children. Some of them that I've met, and they're brilliant. They're brilliant people. And a lot of young generations start now, and they try to navigate through, the balance between family, career, further education, research. How do you achieve that? How do you manage that?
Well, that's maybe the most difficult question,
Correct.
But easy to answer for me. And number 1 is my wife. My wife, gives me this time. She's an ophthalmologist.
That's good.
So she understands, and we work this out together. The children now grown up, and I can remember these nights when we had, the babies crying.
And you're writing
and I had to do surgery and had to write publications. My wife took most of the time. But also have to say, I counted that I have changed in my life more than 5,000 diapers. at least.
Right.
Because 6 children, and I was in that field. Now, but I have to say, you know, it's rewarding. Children are the best. So I have to say that's the biggest treasure I have in life are my children and my wife. And a good family supports you, and that's the reason why I can do it.